The stars are bright, we own the night. The stars are bright, we own. The stars are bright, we own the night. The stars are bright, we own. The
Another episode of No Better Time Than the Present. We have a fantastic guest tonight, Mr. Dion Langley. And tonight we're going to talk about lupus. Okay, hey. So I wanted to say a couple of words before Dion comes on. I have experience with the disease of someone that I cared about very much who passed away. So I'm looking forward to hearing Dion's story and just to have a conversation about it, because I know there's a lot of myths and there's a lot of things when people hear the word lupus, they're very unsure and they're confused, So hopefully Dion can shed some light in terms of what is this disease, and we can just have like a cool conversation. So, lupus is a chronic, though long-term autoimmune disease that can cause inflammation and pain in any part of the body. Therefore, it allows for the immune system that usually fights infections now attacks healthy tissues instead. Okay. And may I say that's like so many other diseases, but not really. There is a difference in terms of the autoimmune disease. Okay, a lot of the symptoms usually include skin rash on the face, joint pain, and kidney and heart issues. Okay, so usually lupus is known by systemic lupus, but there are actually 4 types of lupus. Okay, the first is SLE, which is systemic lupus erythematosus, which is the most common form. Okay, then we have cutaneous lupus, which is a form that is limited to the skin. Then we have drug-induced lupus, and that is caused by certain prescription drugs. And then we have prenatal lupus, which is a rare condition that affects infants or women who have lupus. Okay? So, some of the myths with this particular disease is that it's a woman's disease, okay? And I'm going to talk to Dion further about that. But the fact is, while 90% of those who get lupus are women, men and children get this disease as well. Women aged 15 to 44 are the most affected group. Okay, so let's just simmer on that, okay, because that's a lot. And we'll wait until Dion pops on.
How are you? How you doing?
I am great. I am great. Definitely can't complain. Yes. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank
That's
you.
wonderful. Wonderful.
I'm so excited to have you on tonight because it's so much I want to speak about.
Wow.
Because as I stated, I lost someone very close to me from lupus,
Okay.
and there was a lot of theories and misconceptions and clarity exactly what it was. So I want to get into that, but first I want to read a little bit of your bio.
Okay.
I took the liberty to shorten it just a tad.
Good. You good. It's a lot. I know it is a lot. So I got you.
So, so today, guys, my guest is Dion Langley, as you see here. And Dion is a professional drummer from Portsmouth, Virginia. Now, in 2010, Dion was diagnosed with SLE, which is systemic lupus erythematosus. He formed the hashtag Beat Lupus and is the CEO of his brand that allows an outlet to educate the public about this disease, as well as to motivate everyone, especially men, that they too can beat lupus. Dion founded hashtag Beat Lupus organization as a place where those affected can turn for emotional support and practical advice. Dion has performed globally and locally in spreading the word and released a song titled Beat It Like a Drum, which I heard today and I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Which is available on iMusic, YouTube Music, iHeart, and Amazon Music. See, I'm plugging you. I'm giving you plugs, okay? He is a supreme advocate leader in the fight of lupus awareness, and we welcome you,
Thank
Dion.
you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Like I'm just so excited to be here. I followed you for a while. We've been, you know what I'm saying,
Oh,
friends for a while.
really?
Yeah. So
Oh,
you
thank
definitely do some
you.
amazing work, and just to have the invite and for you inviting me on, like that really means a lot. Actually, this is my first interview this year. So yes. So
Okay,
yeah,
that's great.
so it's good. It's good. It's good. Definitely excited though.
I
Definitely.
love it. So I usually, before we get into the nitty gritty of the conversation, I usually start with, how was your day?
Oh man. Awesome, awesome day. I stay busy musically. So either I'm playing drums or doing some type of show, or well this past month I think it's been crazy for me and myself personally. My band, I have my own jazz band, so we've been traveling the whole month. So so we just got back from Nashville this week, and so
Okay.
we rehearsed last night. So it's just one of the things with music. I do music every day, all day, every day. So that's my life. I love it, but I'm blessed. I got the best job in the world, and again, just balancing that and just being a parent, and running my business outside of that. But my day is my day. I mean, I love it because I tell everybody I really don't have a time schedule. So it's like
Right.
I just jump and go. You know what I'm saying? So just to have that freedom. But like I said, I just love playing drums, and it puts me at a place where I ain't got to deal with the rest of the world if I don't want to.
Right.
So
Right.
when I'm playing drums, it's like I'm in a bubble. So I just appreciate that. But again, today was great. Excited. You know what I'm saying, to be up here, and like I say again, I'm just taking it day by day.
As as we all are, and it's funny because I think a lot of times when people are diagnosed with a chronic condition, something outside of the box, which I guess to some degree that's a good thing,
Right.
but it's also living in the
Of
moment.
course.
You don't want to go too far out, just stay and handle and deal with what you have to deal with in the present.
Right.
Just stay in the
Right.
present. So I totally get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
So let's start off the conversation of, tell us how you were diagnosed. And if you would like to add more to
Okay.
what I said, what lupus is, if I missed something,
Okay.
you can just, let us know.
Okay. I would say first off, I when I got diagnosed with lupus, it was at a time where lupus wasn't big as on the advocate level when it came to just recognizing lupus, what lupus actually was, how it affected your body. So, it was 2010 when I got diagnosed. But I actually started having the symptoms probably like 2 years prior to. I just overlooked it, to be honest with you. I would go to the ER, and having a little bit of pain that I did have, I kind of just caught myself saying, they'll give me medicine. I'll rest for a couple of days, then I'm back up doing what Dion does. Not knowing the whole time I was wearing my body down, and that I had lupus, not even knowing. So imagine a person like me that's busy with his day-to-day routine, and not knowing that you have a disease that really hinders you from being like normal, or having the normal day-to-day activity. So like I said, I went back and forth to the hospital for like 2 years. And every time it was like they'll give me, a medication, they'll say, okay, take a couple of days off, and then I'm back to being Dion. Um, so finally, one time I went, though, this was 2010. I went, and of course the symptoms came again. So I'm taking the typical ER visit, and I'm like, okay, give me the medicine so I get up out of here. I got so much stuff to do tomorrow. It is what it is. But that particular day, he was like, you're not leaving. And I'm like, what? I was like, hold on. He was like, nah, something is wrong. We need to run more tests, this and that and the third. So instantly, it was one of those things where my nerves got real, real bad, because to hear that, you start thinking the worst anyways. So I ended up staying in the hospital probably for like, I say about a month. And they was running tests back and forth. They actually had to cut underneath my shoulder here, and had to pull out. They did a biopsy, and once the biopsy came back, I think like a couple of days later, the doctor diagnosed me with systemic lupus, and that was the worst feeling ever, because when he walked in the room and told me, I never knew what lupus was, and to hear that, the first thought that comes to your mind is I'm gonna die. So that, what I'm saying, that was like, I think I cried right there, because I just literally thought something was like wrong, and I knew my life was over in less than 2 weeks or something. And but luckily I'm blessed, and I'm still here, and like I say, God has always taken care of me, and I think at the end of the day, I can't be what I be or do what I do without God first. So I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed.
That's wonderful. It's crazy because when I read your bio, you know, like I skimmed it at first, but then like
Okay.
this week as planning for it, I really read
Wow.
it,
Okay.
and I was like, it just brought back so much emotions for me
Yeah.
because, oh Lord, who saw? So I had a friend in high
Okay.
school, and she was like, I had two. Well, I ain't gonna go through all this because the friends pop on. It's like, oh well, I
Okay.
thought I was like the friend. Like, okay, let's
Good.
settle down. But she and I were very close, and I felt like she kind of what's the word? Matured earlier
I got you.
than most of us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So she got married. I think she was 20 or
Okay.
21,
Okay.
something to that effect.
Okay.
She had a baby right after. And
Right.
then literally right after, she was diagnosed with lupus.
Yeah.
And then she died.
Yeah.
It was just like a whole spiral where
That's it.
grasping what is lupus?
That's
You
it.
know, it was a lot of confusion at that time because I want to say maybe that was in the
Right.
90s. So this is going back a little
Yeah.
further, a little bit, and it was just bananas, you
Right.
know. And like what I had mentioned in the beginning, there is a lot of myths and something that I don't think she told me. It was just something that was mentioned around the
Right.
way that a lot of people felt at the time when she like really needed
Right.
everybody's support. Like she had support, but then some people were kind of, acting up.
Yeah.
A lot of people thought that it was contagious,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I hear that all the time.
they were trying to, right, and they were
I hear that
trying
all the
to
time.
imply that it's like HIV.
That's
So
it.
a lot of people was acting the fool,
Mm-hmm.
okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then I didn't know. A lot of people, obviously, for those who just don't know, they just
That's
assume.
it.
And we know when you assume, that makes an ass out of
That's
you.
it.
Okay, you got to put in the work to understand what's going on.
That's it.
So when I was reading a lot of stuff that you wrote, it just hit me. Like, I want to talk a little bit in terms of, you were depressed a little bit about the diagnosis,
Yeah.
and as anybody would,
Yeah.
right? Because this is so, it's so new, it's
So,
so confusing,
right.
it's
It's
just a
tough.
whole lot going on. But I thought it was very poignant, and what you said, that it made you feel some kind of way, knowing what you didn't know about it, that it's a woman's
Disease.
disease,
That's it.
and you felt some kind of way as a
That's
man.
it.
You know what I'm saying? So I would like you to share that a little bit.
Okay, got you. First off, let me, before I go any further, my daughter up here, I saw her come up here. Thank you, baby girl. I love you. Yeah, I am. She's a daddy's girl. I love you, baby. Yeah. Okay. Let me get back. I saw my daughter jump on. Like I could not help
That is
myself.
no
Yeah,
problem.
I could not help myself. But when I got diagnosed, I think it was so hard for me because, you know, again, it was 2010. Okay, lupus was not really like the information just wasn't there. Okay, so I go and I say, okay, well, let me research this thing. Let me find out what's going on. Let me get some more insight on it myself. And I type in Google and I type in lupus or whatever, and the first thing you see is women. All the brochures, all the advertisements, anything that's involved with lupus, it was women. So I'm like, hold on, man. Like something just don't feel right. I'm still trying to grasp it and still trying to put myself in position to where I can be able to handle having this. So I said, okay, I'm gonna just go to a meeting so I can get involved. Maybe I can get more from just the internet thing. So, I go to the meeting, and the first thing when I walk in the meeting, number one, when I walk in, before I even walk in, I look in there and there's nothing but women, and I'm like, oh man. So I was already kind of shy, embarrassed. I just this me fresh out of the hospital, being diagnosed with lupus less than 2 weeks. So now I'm about to go into this meeting and see, what everything is about. And so I walk in, and the first thing the lady says is, "Oh, why are you here?" She literally thought I was in the wrong spot. Yeah, she literally thought I was in the wrong spot. That right there messed me up. I was like, okay, yeah. I said, I'm sorry. I must be at the wrong spot. Um, and when I walked away and I got back in my vehicle, I just shut the door. I probably cried for like 15 minutes because that's not the impression that you want to get when you're trying to
Right.
figure out something that you don't know about. Um, so I think that bothered me for so long. So after that moment, I would say the next 2 to 3 years, I went into this just quiet phase where I was doing things, not even telling people that I even had lupus. You know,
Right.
I'm trying to play it off. Like if I'm out, hanging out or whatever, if I get tired, um, instead of saying, I have lupus, I just be like, no, I'm tired, I'm sleepy, I stayed up late last night. I'll come up with every excuse in the book around friends and family to keep them from knowing that I had lupus.
Right.
I was I was blessed that again, my daughter, she was at a young age, like taking care of the home, like doing what she do. Like,
Right.
and I tell her all the time, you know, I I, I would have a conversation and I say, listen, I have to apologize to you because I felt like she had to grow up before it was her time. She had to be the late, like she had to be the one to cook, make sure her brothers was good to go because I just didn't have the energy to do it. Some day I had to tie my shoes sometimes because I couldn't bend down. If I walk up the steps, you know, I I run out of breath. And then my baby boy, he was real young at the time. He was like 2, learning how to walk, so trying to keep up with him, and he into everything. And I could see him trying to be playful and just but at times I just couldn't. I would have to say stop or let daddy rest for a minute. But and I say this because when you're diagnosed with lupus, it don't only affect you, it affects the people around you,
Right.
the people in your circle, the people, because they have to adjust. Like my kids had to adjust to me having lupus. It wasn't just this is the same old daddy that can play all night, can stay. You know what I'm saying? Like I, I've seen times where, especially when my daughter learned how to drive, you know, I plan this whole Saturday. We're gonna go out and hang out, just have a fun day. By the time I get dressed and they come downstairs and they ready to go, guess what? I ain't got no energy. I got to get the keys to her and let her take the boys. You know what I'm saying? So just so they can have fun, because I just don't have the energy to even go somewhere. It really changed in that dynamic, because when you're used to going and going, now you got to sit still. Now you got to stop, let your body rest. I mean, that's difficult. And then for a man, you the breadwinner. That mentality, like, you have to make sure that you taking care of things. If it ain't straight, then 9 times out of 10, it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? So that whole period was like rough for me, because again, people will see me now, and the only reason they know I have lupus is because either they saw something on TV about me, or they see my merchandise that I wear all the time. But I carry myself like I don't. I thank God that He gave me the strength to do what I do. But I'll be honest with you, if I didn't wear my merchandise every day, people wouldn't even know I had lupus.
Right.
But I wear it because I have my own clothing line now. Thank God, I'm blessed to do that. But I wear it as a representation, because where I'm at, like I say, nobody really knows about it. Nobody talks about it. And every time I have a conversation with somebody, guess what? They done had it for 10 or 15 years. You see what I'm saying? So when I wear it, it sparks up a conversation. So now it's putting that opportunity out there to get more education, to get more people going to get tested, so we can get these numbers up more, so we'll get better treatment for it. And that's why I do it, because it affects me. Like, there's something that can take my life out. So why wouldn't I do all I can to try to put the word out?
Yeah, of course.
You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
And to me, think about this. Think about this. Have you ever seen a lupus billboard anywhere?
Nope.
You see what I'm saying? Like, and trust me, it's I ain't got nothing against any other disease. I'm not downplaying any other disease, but you ain't never seen a lupus billboard. Never. Who fault is that? It's ours, because I think at the end of the day, I think, and let me slow down because my mouth will get me in trouble. But I think at the end of the day, for real. Look, I really don't like doing interviews, because I think I'd be so blunt that people take it the wrong way. But
Blunt
again,
is good.
right,
Blunt is good.
right. But again, that's why I started hashtag Beat Lupus, because I had to figure out a way to do it my way. Because the way that the Lupus Society do it, I'll be honest with you, is really favoritism. And I know people gonna get mad when I say that, but that's just what it is. We're not getting what we want because we shortchange ourselves. Because if you're not in this certain category for them, if you don't fit that profile, then they don't want to mess with you. But
That's
right,
so
right.
interesting.
Listen, a female having lupus, it's the same as a guy having lupus. An old person having lupus is the same as a young person. A black person having lupus is the same as a white person having lupus. But we tend to categorize stuff when it comes to this lupus. And guess what? We're getting none out of it. We got 1,000 different separate entities, right? All these entities, we got all these lupus groups, all these platforms, all these organizations, and we can't come together. We can't come together and get one billboard to just spread the word. I see billboards for everything else. Listen, I guarantee you, look, I tell people like this all the time. If me and you doing the fundraiser and we on the same street, I got a lupus fundraiser on one side getting money, and you across the street doing a cancer or something like that, cancer fundraiser or breast cancer. Who you think will get the most money?
But we already know it.
Right.
Like, we don't even gotta say, we already know it.
Right.
And
So
it's funny
it's a
because,
problem.
yeah, go ahead.
That's like that's a problem for me. But I'm not knocking cancer or any other diseases. But like you say, we deal with lupus. So to me, that's it's something that we're doing wrong. It's something that's not connecting. It's something that's not connecting. But the leaders in the lupus community, the ones that got the yay and the nay and all the say so, they don't want to have that conversation.
Right.
So that's just what it is. And I probably got off track a little bit, but I'm just so passionate about it, because this is something that affected me. This is something that changed my life. And since I got diagnosed with lupus, I had to change my whole dynamic,
Right.
my whole
I
dynamic.
I totally understand where you're coming from because it's so funny as you're speaking. I just had a conversation a couple of weeks ago. I was interviewed for something, and something similar to what we're talking about now came up
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the whole
Right.
awareness and what can whoever do to kind of put the word out. So when it comes to multiple myeloma, I don't know if you're, aware of it, but it affects Black people
That's it.
twice as likely than
Yeah.
any other group.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole other conversation. And
I
I'm
get
thinking maybe I'm doing something later in the year about conditions that affect more African American
right.
people or more Black people,
Right.
But
Right.
part of the conversation was, not to go too deep into it, was kind of like I mentioned a billboard. So things that simple, a billboard,
Of
like
course.
you don't have to, it doesn't have to be wordy and all of that, because
Some
we
simple.
know no matter where you're at in
That's
this
it.
country, you're going to see a billboard.
That's it.
Some may pop more than
That's it.
others. It doesn't
But it
matter.
just draws your
And I'm like,
attention.
it
It
just
just
draws
draws your
your
attention. That's all you need.
attention.
Attention. That's it.
And if you're trying to get a certain community, why not a billboard
Why not?
versus having
Why not?
cigarette
Why not?
ads,
Why
right?
not? Exactly.
Because just as you mentioned, usually when you sit and have a conversation with someone,
Mm-hmm.
that you realize that, oh snap, I have the same thing, or I know so and
Right.
so and they have the same thing. It's kind
Right.
of like the elephant in the
That's
room,
it.
but everybody is like walking around the elephant.
Right.
Like we can all have this conversation,
Wow.
but it's not, no one's not saying anything.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Now see, you made a great point because I'm the person that's going to be the person in that room that's going to say something. And then what
Right.
happens is when I say it, now I'm the outcast. Okay. So, but the problem again, I'm a strictly say it. I don't care who get mad. The problem is with the lupus community is we don't get what we need to get out of what we're doing. Is because we're so busy trying to compete with every other foundation to try to outdo this foundation or that foundation. You have 5 foundations in certain states. You got 5 organizations, and they all won't come together. Why? Why? Because they're trying to outshine the other foundation, and then the money's going where? It's not helping. It's not helping the daggone lupus community. You see what I'm saying? So we fight.
Right.
It's like we fighting against ourselves. And again, nobody's getting help. We're not getting a cure for it, and everybody's suffering. And then at the end of the day, it's like we keep going in this revolving circle, revolving circle, revolving circle. For what? So Dion had to step outside the box. That's how come I do hashtag beat lupus. I do it my own way. I carry it in a musical sense because God gave me the gift of drumming. So I travel. So I represent my brand as I travel, playing drums, doing something musical. And, I just try to advocate a different way. Now, a lot of the foundations, they don't like that because 9 times out of 10, if you go to a Lupus Foundation meeting, it's a bunch of talking. They're going to have 3 hours worth of talking. Everybody's sitting there. You can get your little chips and crackers or whatever.
Right.
And then it's on to the daggone next one. But I try to add something else to that because the education is important. But I try to add a sense of music, something packed, because music is universal. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care what color you are. Music is universal. So I feel like music can hit the spirit differently. And I think at the end of the day, that's something that I do try to add when I do my lupus speakings, and when I do go represent lupus. But again, it's hard. It's hard to plug in when you have the people on top that's just not willing to change or not willing to come out of their own selfish ways. That's just what it is. That's
Right.
that's pretty much what it is.
It's crazy because it's, I think for a lot of conditions, cancer, chronic condition, whatever
Right.
that's out there, it's crazy because you have people who are running on little time, okay?
Of course. Right.
And when we're running on little time,
That's it.
whereas we have whoever, right, whether it's pharma, whether it's certain organizations, whatever, who are kind of running the show to some
Right.
degree, because let's say if it's medication, we
Right.
gotta wait for FDA approval, or
Right.
you know,
Right.
it's like
Right.
all of
Right.
these things, and
Right.
a lot of us are not going to make it
That's it.
because the red tape
So
and the
much.
bureaucracy
So
and
much.
the politics in
That's
it
it.
is too much.
So much
It's
red
too
tape.
much.
Yeah.
And I
So
think a lot of that also falls into why a lot of people don't speak about what they have going on.
exactly.
You know, there could be a multiple reasons why,
Exactly.
but I think a lot of people, it's like, let me just take these meds and hope for the best.
Right.
And then you
Right.
find out, like, you know, like you said, you know, you've been walking this battle for like 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. But what changes, if any, have you made to cope with your new reality?
Easy. Easy. Drums. Drums.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, drums is my safe place. Okay. I listen, I name my organization hashtag beat Lupus. Okay. And it fits me so perfect because number one, I'm a drummer that has lupus. So I tell everybody my goal is to beat lupus like I beat drums. So I really take this whole advocating thing seriously, but I deal with it just by drumming. Like drumming puts me in a safe place. And I believe everybody that has lupus, you have to find a safe space for you, a safe place, whatever you love doing, whether it's typing, sewing, coloring, whatever, jogging, whatever. You have to find something that's going to take you off the mindset of having lupus, because lupus, it's not just a physical battle, it's a mental battle as well. You understand what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And once lupus getting you mentally and it puts that negative mindset into your mind, it tends to wear on your body as well. And for me, when I was in my little funk period, my little sad period, you know, I felt like mentally lupus had me because I felt like it won't no way out. You understand what I'm saying? So it took me to be mentally strong and, and say, God, help me, God, whatever you need me to do to get me out of this terrible mood I'm in. Like, I need your help now. And that's when he gave me hashtag Beat Lupus. He gave me everything when it came to drumming, and I tell everybody, I used to have this goal to be the best drummer in the world. Like, that was my goal. I was to be the number one drummer ever, ever, ever. But, when I got diagnosed with lupus and I'm laying in a hospital bed, and when you sit in a hospital bed, it ain't nobody to talk to. So it's just you and God. Then you're looking up at that wall, and 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, everybody gone. Your visitor's gone. So it gives you time to think. And just having that conversation with him, he told me, he said, listen, he said, I'm not gonna take drums away from you totally. He said, but I ain't gonna make you this world-renowned drummer that you want to be on top of the game. He said, but I'm gonna get you to use your drumming for a different purpose and for a positive reason. You understand what I'm saying? So that right, when he hit me with that, I knew I had to do something about it. That's why I got the organization now, the clothing line, so like I say, I advocate different. Everybody don't agree with it, and they really not supposed to.
Right.
But at the end of the day, my way, I'm not even gonna front. It ain't trying to be funny. My way is very, very effective. Like,
Mm-hmm.
people wear my merchandise. I could be walking somewhere. People don't even know my name, but they be like, that's the Beat Lupus guy. You see what I'm saying? So again, I know what I'm doing is doing something positive for the community, and I'm praying that it'll grow. Listen, I even wrote a song, "The Beat It Like a Drum." That song had nothing to do with me. If you listen to the words of the
Right.
song's basically saying you're fighting an inside battle. Your body is fighting an inside battle.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Trying to overcome, taking it day by day, praying for just better days. I
Right.
mean, you listen to the words of the song, it ain't got nothing to do with me. This song, it ain't even for just the lupus community. That song was for the autoimmune community. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? So that song had nothing to do with just Dion. No, we worked on this song trying to put something together, try to bring light to the lupus community about it. And guess what? If they don't like it, guess what? They definitely not going to promote it.
Right.
All these other organizations, they have an identity. Lupus have no identity. I play drums at different functions, organizations. Man, Cancer, they even got a song. Like, they got a song, like a nationwide song that they do at every function. Yes.
Really?
a nationwide song, and it's like everybody know it and they rock with it. And it's like I try to give Lupus an identity, submitted it up to the people. Guess what? They ain't matter. It didn't matter. And that was almost 2 years or 3 years ago. But again, we're fighting. The thing about it is, how can we overcome something when we fighting amongst ourselves? So we're fighting the battle within the Lupus organizations, because the people that make the decisions, they the ones that say the yay or nay. So that's something that I can't control, and I just had to let that go. That's how come I do it my own way. I do.
And you know what? The way you're doing it is effective.
Thank you.
Know what I'm saying? And I think I told someone this not that long ago too. It's like I never signed up to be an advocate. Okay. And for those who know me, they know I hate public speaking. I really do.
Okay.
Okay. And even like in meetings and stuff, oh, Yolanda, what's your name?
Right.
Like, just not my thing. So it's just funny how, as you say, God uses our talents, even though he knew that my talent wasn't public speaking.
Right.
He was like, well, guess what? I'm going to need you to formulate however you need to formulate,
right,
and spread the word. So exactly what you're doing, I think we're needed.
That's it.
And sometimes we can't look at what the powers that be, what they're doing and how they're doing. All we can do is suggest how they can do it better. Okay. And either they listen or they don't, or we keep it going and doing what we got to do.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do. Let me tell you, when I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, there were like not even a handful of people like India. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And I know that there was I know I mentioned this before on one of my other episodes. There was this lady by the name of Brenda Jenkins.
Okay.
And she was like the only black face that I saw. Okay. And I was like, oh my God, and I'm very inquisitive and I find people, as you see. Okay. And did my research and all of that. And, me and her had a conversation and all this going. So she was in the fight, as a voice, as an advocate for years. Okay. And it's just very rare that you find voices such as ours, whether black, white, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But people outside of the powers that be, where it's actually the patient advocates, because we're the ones that matter, right? So other patients or other people who wish to know, what is this condition about, what was your medication experience, whatever the questions are, we are the people who anybody should really be talking to. Okay, because the powers that be, they don't really know the walk. We've kind of walked the walk. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
So all I say is keep doing what you're doing, because
you're
doing it well. You're doing it well.
I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Again, I'm not saying my way is the best way, but it's your
way. Right. And it's like you said, it's your identity. Right. Because you trying to go this other route of possibilities, which would be awesome if you had that backing.
That's it.
Come on, let's keep it real. Okay.
That's 100.
But if that's not what's happening, it's probably not the season now. It doesn't mean you need to give it up.
Of course.
Because the powers, you know what I'm saying? God has, how he does. He does it in his time. He don't do it how we want him to do it.
There you go. That's it. You nailed it. You nailed it. And again, I'm not gonna give up. I'm just gonna keep doing it my way. But again, I can't. Again, I know the support not gonna be there from where it's needed.
That's all that matters. So let me ask you. Okay, if we look at a number from 1 to 10, right? How do you think you dealt with being diagnosed with lupus? Like, 1 being it's not been easy. We kind of went over. You had like a 3-year lag of figuring it out. and 5 being you got this. Like, we won't go in the past because we know in the past
right.
we still trying to figure things out. But where are you today
Right
from
now,
1 to 5?
right.
Yes.
I'm a 100 because listen, right, because listen, I've already established my mindset. I'm at listen, I'm at a place now. Again, I carry myself like I don't have lupus. Okay, but I know I do. My body tells me I feel the pains. Okay, I do shows probably 3 nights a week just drumming. After every show, I'm tired. I'm nothing. Like I'm dead tired. I probably can't move the next day, but I'm okay with that because I'm living a dream. Like this is something that I want to do. Like lupus is not going to stop me from living this dream. You understand? So with lupus, I put you like this: you have to be able to sacrifice. Okay,
Right.
and I'm only saying this because I do this all the time. I'm a sacrifice. I'm like, you know what? I know this show tomorrow morning. I'm definitely gonna pay for this. My body is not gonna be cool, but guess what? I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm not gonna let it stop me. I am not gonna let
Right.
it stop me. You understand? So when you say confidence, I'm on 1,000.
You
Like I got it.
got it.
You understand? Right, right. I got it. Tomorrow, now the next day, I know how to sit down and chill. I get it. But see, I'm blessed to where if I don't feel like going anywhere, I can do my work. I can do my business right from my cell phone. I got a laptop. I ain't even got to move. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? I can
Right.
make my posts. I do my posts. I can sit right in the house. I ain't got to go to the office and do all that. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm still effective, just relaxing. So at the end of the day, again, I just thank God for having that mobility and just put me in position to where I don't have to check into a 9 to 5 day to day because God knew what my life was going to be like. So again, man, I'm gonna attack this thing and I'm gonna keep pushing, trust and believe. You know what I'm saying? Like
You
I'm
got
good.
this.
Yeah,
You got
exactly.
this. I
Exactly.
mean, the
I'm good.
confidence, and this is the thing when it comes to advocacy and patient leaders is to hear voices of people who are still going through, but have kind of made it through like that murkiness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it is murky in the beginning when you're newly
Of
diagnosed
course.
with whatever. But let me ask you as we try to wrap this up, like what parting words for those specifically newly diagnosed, what parting words would you like to say to them who just got the news that they were diagnosed with lupus?
I would say number one, you have to research, you have to study, learn your body. Don't look at nobody else's condition with lupus and think yours gonna be the same route. Learn your body. Um, every day is not gonna be a good day, but you have to look at tomorrow gonna be a better day than yesterday was. Because again, lupus is a mental battle.
Right.
Lupus is a mental battle. So I think you have to beat lupus mentally before you can try to beat it physically. Because in reality, you can't beat lupus. So when I say hashtag beat lupus, not beating lupus because I still have lupus every day, but I'm
Right.
beating lupus mentally to the point to where I know that I can still live my day-to-day life and still be who I am, still be the drummer that I am because I'm not letting lupus get me down. So I would definitely tell newly diagnosed patients to just, have that mental conversation with yourself and be mentally prepared for good and bad days, but don't let the bad days overtake the good.
I hope you guys heard that.
It, it,
Kudos to everything you
thank you.
said. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Um, like I could go on all night talking,
It's all good.
okay?
Yeah,
Because
it's all
but
good.
I think you've hit a lot of my questions. That's why I didn't pose
Okay.
any more
You
questions
good?
because you kind of like popped them through, which is great. So, where can my viewers find more about you, your advocacy? Like, what's your website?
Oh yeah,
Like,
definitely,
I
definitely.
already said
There you go.
hashtag beat lupus.
Right.
So there you
So
go, right there.
there you go. I guess I'll start Facebook. It's Dion Langley. I also have a hashtag Beat Lupus group on Facebook, so you can join the
Okay.
hashtag Beat Lupus group, and there you'll get more of the inside look at me dealing with lupus. My main page is just my main page. I really don't post a lot there, but my hashtag Beat Lupus, you'll get the inside look at just basically my life living with lupus day to day as a drummer on the road, you know, just so you'll get a lot of stuff that you see in that lupus group that you won't get on my main page. I also have a lupus dream team page with me and my man Emmy Henderson the third.
Oh, I
Another
think I
awesome,
saw
yeah,
that.
that's my
Yeah, I saw that.
guy.
Okay.
That's my guy.
Mm-hmm.
Another awesome advocate, man. And we just attacking this thing together. You understand? We also have what else I got? Oh, I got my regular Instagram page, which is Drum for Lupus. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to follow me on Instagram, Drum for Lupus. I also have my Beat Lupus Apparel Instagram page, just Beat Lupus Apparel. And there you can find all my merchandise, all my apparel. What else I got? Twitter, Drum for Lupus. My YouTube channel, Drum for Lupus. So, you know, it's Drum number 4 Lupus. Drum the number 4
Mm-hmm.
Lupus. Gmail the same thing. If you need to hit me up, drumforlupus@gmail.com. So, you know, I'm simple, and I just, like I said again, you know, this is who I am. You know, and if anybody want to reach out to me, feel free to email me, inbox me, whatever form of communication that you need to reach me. I will do the best I can, you know, to help you, and just get back with you. So, yeah.
That's awesome. Like,
Thank
this
you.
was a wonderful conversation. It really was, Dion. And I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me and to educate a lot of people, because I know this is a subject. What's lupus?
Of
Exactly
course,
what is that?
of course,
You know what I'm saying?
of
So
course.
just putting a little light to that is like awesome.
Thank you.
Um, so everyone, again, this is no better time than the present. We'll have I have to educate everybody like every episode. So whoever came on to hear this awesome conversation, very
Thank
good.
you.
For
Thank
those
you for
who hit
everybody.
us up later, you'll have to catch the replays on YouTube. So I'll have that stuff up maybe in a couple of days or so. Dion, I'll hit you up with an email,
Sounds good.
when it's up and all of
Sounds
that.
good.
So for those who want to get the YouTube episode of this, you can go to my bio, Milo a Chick, and then you see the YouTube button. And then if you subscribe, then you'll know when we have these awesome conversations. It's so simple, but they're not doing it as often. I gotta keep telling them.
Yeah, yeah, you got it. That's it. That's
You
it.
know,
That's it.
but you go to the bio and then click and then click.
That's it. That's it. Click. Just click and click. There you go.
Click and click.
That's it. That's it.
But thank you again, my
No
friends.
problem.
We will be in
Yes.
touch, because as we're talking, I'm thinking of things in the future that
Yeah.
we can probably link
Let's do it again.
together.
Yes. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
We will be
Okay.
in touch for sure.
Okay. Sounds
And
good.
thank you, my friend. It was a
Looking forward to it.
pleasure.
Looking forward to it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Listen.
you.
Thank you. Thank you for all that you do for this
Oh,
platform. And like I say, I watch you, and I'm like I say, I'm so honored that you even reached out to me. And you keep doing what you're doing, because you're definitely making a difference. I see it. And like I say, I'm just fortunate that you reached out to me. So you keep doing it, what you're doing. Awesome job.
thank you so
Awesome
much,
job.
Dion. Oh, you're going to make me
Awesome.
cry.
Awesome job. Awesome job.
Thank
Awesome
you.
job.